Everyone, and welcome to BRL Tier 5. We are here, myself and Ringwraith are here as usual to get on with Tier 5, get on with our qualifying session. Again, our bots in chat will always have a few posts here and there for our TTs in Discord. If you are interested in joining, or if you think your pace is close to these guys, you could probably end up joining them as there's no one on the wait list here. But for some of the other tiers, there is. But try it out. You'll see. As everyone is just loading in now.
Yep. Sorry, I'm still facing technical difficulties. That's why I'm not in the game yet. But I mean, for top contenders this week, based off of last week, I'd have to say top three once again are Zach the Beast, Watchman, and Ethan in the Renault. Ethan still, I think, having the championship lead, and Watchman having the pace to really be able to get around the track very quickly. It's just his problem is just cutting corners and just getting penalties. And that's what's cost him the last one that I was going to say that cost him. That last finish was literally down to the wire and was probably the most exciting finish that I've been able to be involved with. But I don't know, who are going to be your top three for this week?
It's interesting because Henchman has been very competitive in the last two races, so I would like to see something from him, but I know both of the Red Bulls are both looking for something as well. Books has had some trauma in some of the last races, but has had comparable pace to Watchman a lot of the time. So the question is, maybe with no traffic, maybe with different incidences, maybe some guys getting out cleanly out of turn one, we'll see a different 1, 2, 3, maybe a different guy on podium today. So lots to fight for. Entered Caesar, a newer driver returning to Tier 5. So there is that. Hoping to do better today. And yeah, Ron Swanson I know is probably going to want a podium. So lots to fight for.
Well, qualifying should be interesting this week. There are a few guys that really do have one lap pace that can really nail a lap around this track. The only thing that I will worry about is possible strategy going down. If a lot of people go for softs, I have a feeling that we're probably going to see probably two stops. There are options for one stops. As we've seen in the past, people have gone straight from soft to hard tire compounds and rode them out to the end. That's been kind of a trend in the past few races. So I wouldn't be surprised if some people go for that strategy today, but I think at this specific track, I think the two-stop will be more beneficial, and we'll end up beating out those that do try to go for the one-stop on the hards.
I do agree. I prefer doing a one stop, don't stop. So that's just the way it is when it comes out to it. But Butters is trying to get his way around traffic to start a lap. He's got clear open air. I'll have to see how he gets on his way through. Bone Shaker, a newer driver to Tier 5 as well. Getting out there to get their outlap done to put on a banker time. Bad Hunt House out on an outlap as well as these guys are getting out there. Who else is starting a run? I do believe it's Jack Carl and PPR Butters. Be the first two to try and get a time out here in our short quali session so far. As Ethan has joined in, the Renault driver gonna be able to jump into his seat and hopefully set himself a time. He's got a little bit to fight for today to defend his championship. Does Zach the Beast actually get ahead with his points? I'm not quite sure, but I know Zach the Beast is very competitive and right near the top. I'm sure he's going to want another podium today, or at least good points, so we'll see how that goes. Butters attacking Maggots and Beckett's as best he can, pushing with DRS, setting that purple sector 2, being that first driver out. What can Butters set coming down to the line? He's going to set a 26.3 as our provisional pole. Bone Shaker doing a 25.8 just in behind. What is his teammate of Jack Carl doing in behind that? At 28.9. Probably wants to improve a little bit more. Wasn't their best lap, I'm sure. Watchmen on their way through. Bad Hunt House on his way through Magnet Beckett's. Looks like Zach Bardsley. Zach the Beast finishing off their runs. Zach Bardsley goes P3 in mediums, so that's not so bad for him. Gas smoking. I don't think that's a represent time for him on the softs, but we'll have to see. Maybe he's rethinking the strategy to go to mediums instead with the number of drivers out here. Bad
But
Hunt House may be thinking the same.
let's say to pull away from qualifying for just a quick bit, one driver that you said was provisional pole was PPR Butters. He is one driver that has shown great improvement throughout this whole entire season, if I may say so. His times has gotten more consistent. He's been really putting in the laps. I think he's overall becoming a lot better round driver.
Butters is a very improved driver. I've driven with him, and I remember we couldn't honestly finish a race, and we crash out quite often. And now you're saying quite right. He does have considerable pace. He's working at that consistency, but he's starting to get better and better results, and he's definitely putting in better times and laps. So, you know, power to him. I'm glad that these guys do improve. They have put down a lot of laps. Some of them have put down over twice the amount of laps I've even put down in Tier 4. And some of the guys, you know, it's 4 times what some of the Tier 4 drivers have. It's absolutely insane how much these guys are pushing to improve, so it pays out in the end, so.
Yeah, practice definitely helps improve the driver for sure, and that has been seen with quite a few other than Butters through this series as well, so kudos to everyone for really putting in the laps and honestly making it a lot more close, a lot more better racing has been unfolding these past few weeks, if I do say.
Zach the Beast puts himself P5 for now. But yes, it has been better racing. Stewarding has gotten fairly consistent in their calls and have done quite well. And these guys have been so far able to keep it clean. It helps that there's not such a full stack of them. They're all able to run their own race, but still, these guys are able to keep it quite clean amongst themselves a lot of the time. Hopefully, we're not jinxing that going into turn 1 this time around, but we shall see. Hopefully there's no safety car or VSCs for these guys, and they just have a good old run.
And then being able to race it out to the end will definitely be really cool to see. I know that we've had some virtual safeties in the past race, but really no safety cars for a while, so hopefully this time no virtual safety and we just have a good hard race to the end. We'll also let you know I'm still having technical difficulties and still cannot launch the game for some reason.
Oh, that's great.
I know, but I'm still working it. I'm still trying.
Let's try to ride aboard with Slingshot, see what he can get down for a time. He's gonna need a little bit more power through there, maybe on his next go around. Maybe thinking a strategy for mediums. Who knows? Could just be a practice run, as it were, or he might be coming down over the line. And I know you have more in the tank there, Slingshot. Come on, what do you have? A 28.3. Not bad, but I still think you can improve. You got this, man. As these guys are going through. I think Bad Hunt Houses got a purple sector 1 so far, trying to improve on their time around on softs. Doesn't have anything set. Books on their way through on mediums. Next driver on their way through. Entered Caesar puts himself P8 with a 29.3. So quite good for him. Henchman just starts his run as well. So everyone kind of starting their runs a little bit earlier. So everyone should have a banker as Books goes P6 on the mediums. So interesting that both the Williams and the Mercedes have one driver starting medium, one trying to start on softs. Everybody else looking at the soft start instead rather than the mediums. But Books and Zach Bardsley doing quite well on those times. Oh, I feel like I've jinxed PPR Butters as he's crashed out, I think, at the end of Sector 1 into Sector 2.
Well, they do call it commentator's curse for a reason. Hopefully, us not talking
As
too proudly of them will jinx the field for the race.
as Watchman goes off, does quite well to reverse, get off the track to, resort himself, lets the Red Bull through, and collects himself on his way. But that's not what he's going to want from his run. But he's got tons of time to get back in, grab a new stack of softs, try to improve. But unfortunately for Butters, cannot improve. But does have a decent time of a 26.3. But how well will that hold into the final 7 minutes of qualifying here? Gas smoking coming through, improving a lot on these softs. What is it going to be coming down to the line? Definitely wasn't giving it everything on their first run. Just trying to scout out the track, it seemed. A little bit of a lockup, but that's okay. Just trying to grab as much traction and slamming the brakes through the corner. 26.2. It's going to push PPR Butters back, and Ron Swanson also is going to slot himself up in there with a 26.3. Slightly faster than Butters, pushing him down to P5. Watchman's going to start another run on these tires for now. Folks, I think, trying to get out of people's ways. That Bone Shaker is on an out lap. Who else is on a run? Henchman's invalidated, not going well for him, but did set... Oh, he's already set his 26.4, so I'm pretty sure he's happy with that medium run. Zach Bardsley out on the softs, looking to improve. Looks going back to the pits. Zach the Beast starting a run now. Hendrick Caesar on his out lap. Ethan coming down. Is he on an out lap? Yes, he's just starting a lap now. Late into the session, as he typically likes to do. Watchman off again, unfortunately, but still has time to get back to the pits and get some fresh fuel and tires if need be. Maybe just ducking onto the grass to get out of the way. But I would recommend trying to time it better next time, but it is what it is. Yep. Yeah, my co-coms is having some technical issues, but he's gonna try and get back in here with me, so just wanted to affirm with him. But how is the chat doing, guys? Do we have any predictions into the final 4 minutes? Anybody gonna take that pole time from Bone Shaker, who sets a little bit faster on the mediums, but only a little bit faster? 25.793, a very good time. As Ethan's coming down, what does he have? He's going to start another run. Did he invalidate on that one? I do not know. Perhaps. Entered Caesar, what does he have coming down to the line? Next driver to finish a lap. He's going to chuck it into the pits to try and get another run in. Where's that Red Bull? That is Bad Hunt House trying to improve on these softs. Will he be able to do it though? He's up 0.1. It's a little bit, but not quite enough to clear Bone Shaker on those mediums. But we shall see. Do have a Williams of Zach Bardsley off. I don't know if that was retiring on track or not. That was odd. Bad Hunt House, what do you have coming down to the line? It's not enough for pole, but it's a minor improvement. Still gonna hold him in P2, gas smoking, trying to get back out, looking to maybe get a tow from his teammate. Maybe they're working out something. Ron Swanson coming down to the line. Ethan, what are you gonna set for a time? He's only gonna set a 26.8. Maybe Britain not his track, maybe joining in late. This game's still having some bugs. Who knows? Codemasters did say they've improved it, but we shall see, as I see some of these drivers with gloves and some of them with not. Ron Swanson starting a lap. He's got traffic of Ethan ahead. Is he going to get a tow, or is he going to get in his way? No, he's going to try and dip low. Good on you, Ethan. Smart man. Getting out of the way. Ron Swanson on his way through. Improving a little bit. Is that Watchman about to start a lap? Yes. Bad Hunt House on his in lap. Gas smoking out. So yeah, Ron Swanson, next driver to finish a lap. Just wanted to see if there was anybody else. Butters for the win. I like the sound of that, Butters. I like the confidence. Ron Swanson pushing it right to the edge of the track there. We're kicking up a little bit of grass, but still setting that purple sector 2 up quite a bit on his time. Probably still going to improve quite a bit into sector 3 into these last final turns. What's going to be? Dives through the corner here, grabbing good traction. Powering through the corner, and that's going to be your new pole time of a 25.722, beating out the medium time of Bone Shaker with a 25.793. So very nice times from these guys so far. Gas Smoking not starting out the lap he wanted it, I'm sure. Henchman on an out lap on the softs, trying to get to the line in time. He'll have it in time. Looks on an out lap. I don't think he'll be able to make it. Not unless my timer is incorrect, which I have found that this game can have my timer be ending a minute earlier than these guys, so I don't know what is correct anymore due to Codemasters. On my screen, Books will not get that lap. And I think the game has fixed the quality glitch, so that is good. Richard Caesar puts himself P6, putting in that 26.3, a good competitive time from him. Henchman unfortunately invalidating on his soft run. So he's not going to be able to improve, but maybe he was just ducking out of it because he preferred the medium start, seeing that he's in P8. So that could have been a strategy call on him rather than a mistake. Who knows? Zach the Beast coming down through the corners, trying to improve late into quality with most track development at his disposal. Has that purple sector, but is it going to be enough? A little bit of a lockup, but that's okay. Trying to grab as much traction as he can. Slingshotting himself around the curbs. What's it gonna be? I don't know. What was that? That is first. And there you have it. Zach the Beast stealing it away at the final seconds. Putting it 4/10 faster than Ron Swanson. But very good lap from these guys. Zach the Beast starting out on top with Ron Swanson P2, Bone Shaker P3, Watchman P4, Bad Hunt House P5, Zach Bardsley P6, Gas Smokin P7, Entered Caesar P14, PPR Butters unfortunately DNFing early in the session P9, Henchman P10, Ethan P11, Books P12, Slingshot P13, Jack Carl P14. So it'll be interesting to see how the race will get on from here. Any predictions going into the race, guys, in the chat? Zach the Beast, very excited for that P1 position. But we shall see how that goes for turn 1 and throughout the rest of the race. Quali is half the battle, but the rest of it still has to be done in the next 50%. So we shall see. As these guys are warming up their tires, we'll get that on board. Let's see. But yes, Bone Shaker being new, putting in a very good performance up into P3 on the mediums. Gonna be interesting to see how their run goes. Hopefully well with that different strategy. Watchman wanting to improve, I'm sure. Not his best quality performance so far, but we know he's got pace. Unfortunately collects a lot of track penalties, but maybe he was able to keep it cleaner this time around. Both the Red Bulls are close as usual. Zach Bardsley slotting in between the two of them. Caesar in P8, but again, returning to Tier 5. We'll have to see how they get on. PPR Butters. Again, DNF'd, but might be able to do it. Might have the win today. We shall see. Henchman on the mediums. Going for that different strategy. Ethan's still going for the softs, even in P11. Books on the mediums. Slingshot and Jack Carl both select the softs as well. No one looking at the hards. No one's really looking at the mediums besides the guys that qualied on them and Books. Ron Swanson and Hench. It's a good call. Ron Swanson, this could be his one. This could be his one. Hello to all the viewers. I'd love to hear your call outs. Look at that. Seeing the strategy, that medium to soft, soft to medium. And we shall see. As everyone is lining up to the grid. And they're held for a little bit, but they are off. Red Bull already trying to make a move on the outside, getting a really good run. Ron Swanson a little bit ahead into turn 1, though. He's made the move already. He's got Zach the Beast hounding the back of him already, though. Lots of people sorting through. Looks like Bad Hunt House might have been disconnected from the start. Everyone trying to slot their way through. Zach the Beast ahead. Everyone hounding the back of Watchman now. As Ron Swanson and Zach the Beast have gotten ahead a bit, but Bone Shaker's slotting into 4th behind Watchman. Butters trying to sort his way through from 9th, already up into 6th, in only a few turns, trying to get around the Red Bull off of the start here. Gas Smoking slotting himself down. Is PPR Butters going to be able to make a move into Maggots and Beckett's, or is he going to wait till after? He's got Bad Hunt House on the back of him as well. Oh, and Entered Caesar is off. I don't know if that is contact with somebody, but that is a big off from him. As Zach the Beast is now hounding him of Ron Swanson, but Ethan also off. That was contact into cops as well. The Delta's kind of jumping around right now, which is quite odd, but we shall see as they are trying to chase him down. Ron Swanson making that outside move. Zach the Beast, is he going to be able to get it done? No, decides to slot back behind Ron Swanson. Ethan Pitts. I don't know what is going on with the Delta, but it is what it is. We have another car off. I think that's Butters, unfortunately, who's had a bit of a moment. I don't know if that's contact or a spin, but that's going to slot him down. Zach the Beast trying to line up a move, getting slightly better traction out of Maggots and Beckett's. It's going to be a drag race down to the end of this corner here. Zach the Beast getting ahead, jumping back to the racing line to get into a nice apex for the corner to slot himself ahead of Ron Swanson again, trying to take control of this race early on. Watchman not too far behind, but Zach the Beast setting that fastest lap so far. DRS is enabled this time around as Watchman's making his way through. Only a second back from the leaders right now as Bone Shaker's 0.6 off of him. Going to have DRS, so it's going to be interesting to see, but maybe Watchman got it. No, he did not. Bone Shaker does have DRS. Some contact between Books and Gas Smoking. That's going to take some wing damage off of Books, though, which is not going to help his medium run. He's going to be wanting a safety car or a VSC so he can swap that wing out. Maybe jump onto the hards to the end or something, but he's going to try and make a move, not having the wing to get around there. It is a fight through the rest of these corners. Henchman still in 10th on those mediums, wanting to get ahead of these guys battling in front. The two Red Bulls are still jostling a position while Books is falling off now with that broken wing. Slingshot having DRS on Books. Using the slip a bit, jumping out of it, trying to get that outside look on him. Not quite there. Books going a bit deep. Slingshot looking at the inside line. Slingshot making a smart move, trying to get himself out of a bad position with the driver with a broken wing. That's only going to get Henchman that much more closer to him as PPR Butters unfortunately retires. I don't know what that is about, but that is not how you do it on track. As Jack Carl is on the back of this train now. All of them should have DRS into the straight, but can any moves be done? As Ron Swanson has been nudged off? What has happened here? As Watchman and Bone Shaker are through and Ron Swanson is off. Zach Bardsley is now hunting him down. It's almost two trains of drivers at this point between our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and our 6 and back. Zach Bardsley trying to get DRS, trying to get a good run on Ron Swanson here. Ron Swanson needing to do a bit of a recovery drive to get himself back into a podium position. But Bone Shaker doing quite well on their first run through on BRL. Grabbing themselves a 3-second time penalty though, but having great pace on those mediums. Only still being a second off from the lead is definitely a great place to be. 5 laps in on the mediums. This Gas Smoking is still a second back from his teammate. Slingshot trying to catch up to them. Henchman hounding him. Jack Carl falling off a little bit, but Entered Caesar is ahead of Books as Books is into the pit for a new wing, and Hards. Ethan on Hards as well, trying to make a bit of a recovery drive, hoping for a safety car, I'm sure. But Zach the Beast for now is in the lead, still covering that 1 second gap. Trying to keep away from Watchman, trying to keep away that DRS, and staying ahead of the crowd. But Bone Shaker is going to be hard to keep off, but with those medium tires having better life. But oh, having a bit of a twitch there. That was a bit of a save with the curb. Watchman's going to take a 3-second time penalty there, unfortunately, though. DRS is activated for Bone Shaker, but not for Watchman. He's not going to have the pace to jump around. Bone Shaker is going to make his way through. Diving into the corner. Watchman is just going to have to slot himself in behind, losing a lot of time to Bone Shaker already. Yes, I think the medium's already starting to groan a bit. Zach Bardsley still trying to catch up to Ron Swanson, falling off a little bit, having to work at, keeping those tires planted. He's a little squirrely out there, but these two Red Bulls still fighting it out back here in their own little battle of Bad Hunt House and Gas Smoking. Henchman on his way through Slingshot, but Jack Carl now catching Slingshot, catching. Is a move going to be made? Oh, it's a late dive. A bit of a lockup. Doesn't look like any wing damage has taken place, but now Entered Caesar is looking for a move on Slingshot as well, having a lot of battery to fight with, trying to make a good recovery race for himself, trying to get back into those points. Gas Smoking taking a 3-second time penalty, not going to be able to help his run against his teammate. Entered Caesar trying to look for a better run, grabbing a bit of grass though. Has DRS, and I think he's still got that better run, having battery to push. Backs out of it though. Kick of oversteer, but a good save. Trying to catch up back to Slingshot to get a move done, but Slingshot staying to the back of Jack Carl. Gas Smoking still just outside that 1 second gap. A lot of these guys have that 1 second gap. Zach the Beast having about a 1.5 second gap to Bone Shaker on the mediums. Definitely needing to push. Definitely doing a good job of pushing to try and keep himself out of DRS, out of slipstream, to give Bone Shaker any additional pace out here today. Yes, we do have the Nightbot that should be able to pull it all up. I do believe there's a command for it. But what has happened to Zach Bardsley? What has happened? Did his wheel disconnect or something? Did he get punted? What happened? What did he... Oh, that's odd, but Ethan is also off. So, track is catching out a few drivers today. Henchman taking a 3-second time penalty, unfortunately. But Bone Shaker closing in that 1-second gap to Zach the Beast ahead. Watchman 3 seconds back. Ron Swanson closing in on Watchman having DRS. But it is now a fight for 1-2 and a fight for 3-4 with a 3-second gap between the two of them. Zach Bardsley onto the hards to change up their strategy to the end. Bone Shaker taking the lead off Zach the Beast out of that DRS zone. But Zach the Beast having a bit of a better run. It's going to be a bit of a fight, but Ethan is off again. Zach the Beast just trying to hound the back of Bone Shaker, but I don't know if his tires can handle a fight at this point with Bone Shaker. But he does have DRS, but isn't quite even catching with the Bone Shaker recharging. But he's recharging as well, not looking to fight, but looking to try and keep up pace, I think. As this is the closest battle on track besides Ron Swanson on the back of Watchman. Everybody else within a 2-second gap or a 1.5-second gap from one another. Entered Caesar catching on to the back of Jack Carl fairly quickly though. Closing into that 1-second gap as these guys are making their way through. Zach the Beast has DRS but not able to catch up enough. Ron Swanson, same story on Watchman. But Henchman quite well up into P7. Moving up, trying to catch on to the back of that Red Bull. Only a 1.5 seconds ahead. Entered Caesar, going to try and grab DRS this time around, I'm sure. Does not have it, but still has the battery and the engine power to do so in that Alfa Romeo. And gets through the Alpha Tauri. And that's going to slot him up into P8 quite safely. Good recovery race so far from him, as Slingshot's making his way into the pits. Book's trying to recover into the points. He's got to get himself ahead of Slingshot for the end here. But Henchman closing on to the back. These guys are now breaking into this 1-second gap again. I wonder when Zach the Beast is going to be pitting. It's got to be probably sometime around now. I imagine the softs go somewhere between 14 to 16, and the mediums go 14 to 16. The softs go about 8 to 12, somewhere like that, depending on the driver. Ron Swanson still having DRS. Henchman now having DRS on Gas Smoke and trying to close in that gap on the medium tires. Gaining as Watchman dives into the pits. Everybody else continuing on their way through. Zach the Beast still continuing on those softs. Gas Smoking for 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. Not going to be able to help his run on his way through. Entered Caesar continuing on. Should have fresher softs, but they do look like they have some good wear and tear to them. Watchman on mediums to the end. Ethan back out on softs. Not been the race he wanted. Gas Smoking out on mediums. Jack Carl on his way through. So Henchman has moved up into P5, but still needs to pit. Does have mediums though. 3 drivers ahead on softs, but Zach the Beast not really letting Bone Shaker go. But this might be the lap that he pits and gets off of these softs. We shall see. The wear in those tires do not look very nice. He's going to go another lap. What is Ron Swanson going to do? Is he going to pit this time around? No, he's not looking for it. Bad Hunt House. With your teammate pitting the lap before, the pit box open, you're not looking for it either. Henchman's not going to look for it. And I'm sure Entered Caesar is going to keep going as well. And that is a safety car. Ethan has DNF'd on the softs. I don't know what happened there, but he is out and done. And that's going to be a safety car. So some of these drivers that pitted the lap before might not get a huge advantage. Might be a big play for guys like Zach the Beast. Might be able to get in and out. But they still have to hold to that safety car delta, but should have that gap to get a free pit stop in and maintain that position. Ron Swanson probably going to be able to make a good recovery drive off the hop again, maybe getting ahead of Bone Shaker. It's not going to be the strategy that Bone Shaker wants. Can't really jump off the mediums quite yet. But I think it's too early for the softs. So I think it's perfect for Zach the Beast and these other drivers, but not so good for our medium runners at this point. Entered Caesar has a perfect opportunity to jump to whatever tire he wants, has already completed his minimum pit stop strategies of jumping between different tires. Same with Books. Books going to softs. I don't know if they can go to the end, but he's going to try and stretch them out as long as he can. Zach Bardsley on to softs. Bone Shaker into the pits. He's going for softs to the end. Ron Swanson on for mediums. Zach the Beast on for mediums. This race could be panning out into their favor with this safety car coming out. Time for them. Bad Hunt House out onto the mediums as well. Henchman out onto softs. Entered Caesar into the pits. Zach Bardsley's going to take a 3-second. Entered Caesar, what is he going to put on? I do believe those are mediums there sitting for him. And those are mediums he's going to be putting on. Serving, no, not serving any penalty. That's just the game being silly. Jet on mediums. Gas smoking back into the pits after jumping out on mediums. Jumping to softs. Jumping to serve a penalty and jump onto mediums that were used. Perhaps? I have no idea if that's just Cody's thing, but that was weird. Okay. I think he's just trying to serve a 5-second. Might have been a smart call there. Don't want that haunting him to the end of the race. But Bone Shaker's going to hold that P1 position in front of our safety car for right now. As Zach the Beast, Ron Swanson, Watchman in P4, Bad Hunt House P5, Henchman in P6, Entered Caesar in P7, Jack Carl in P8, Slingshot catching up in P9, and Gas Smoke in P10 for our top 10. Books and Zach Bardsley are in P11 and 12, maybe able to make a move into the last few laps of this race, though, to get into the points. We've already lost out to Ethan and Butters, unfortunately. Ethan, unfortunately, is the one that brought out the safety car with his DNF, but that's the way it goes for safety reasons. Zach the Beast on that back of Bone Shaker's gearbox. All these guys are staying quite close. Bad Hunt House, you know, taking his time, leaving a bit of a space. Probably a smart call. Henchman doing a bit of the same though. Entered Caesar's a little close, but you know, keep your space, guys. Don't want no 5-second penalties. We shall see. Try, guys. I'm not the best at commentating. There are others that are better out there. I just try my best. That is all. BRL is always looking for other people to step up and volunteer. We're always looking for stewards and chat moderators, coordinators. So just volunteer. Hit us up. We're a lot friendlier than you might think. Slingshot on 3-lap mediums. I don't think he really wanted to pit from his strategy, which is a good call. Watchman trying to make a good recovery. Pitted 2 laps earlier for his mediums, so he's going to have a little bit more deg. And is that a bit of a cloud cover coming over? It doesn't look quite as bright out there. Right? It's not just me thinking that. It's a little bit cloudier. Interesting. Interesting. I don't know if we'll have rain. I don't think so, but maybe a little overcast will help these soft runners of Bone Shaker on their way through. Safety car in this lap. Bone Shaker backing off a bit from the safety car. Now keeping up as Zach the Beast is pushing a little aggressively. You guys got to wait for that safety car to get in, though, before you make any moves. I understand where the pit entry is, but gotta be mindful of the throttling. As everyone's trying to sort themselves out nice and close. As Bone Shaker is off. Zach the Beast is off. And they're all away. Bit of a gap already. Watchman not getting the best hop off of the start there. But is going to be trying to chase the back of him. Bad Hunt House already trying to attack with those fresher mediums. Wanting to get back up into a podium position. Is it quite possible towards the end for that Red Bull driver? As the top 3 are all fighting it out. Bone Shaker trying to get away with that fresher soft pace. He's going to have probably the tires to the end with this cloud cover. As Books and Slingshot are fighting it out. Books has made a bit of an off, but I don't know if that's contact. As it is a battle back here. Gas Smoking sorted his way through. Zach Bardsley is off. Jack Carl is off. Slingshot's in 10th. And Gas Smoking and Books are fighting it out through the corner. Books being smart, not trying to make too much of an attack there. Maybe looking for something after Maggins and Beckett's, though. Grabs a 3-second time penalty there, trying to set himself up better, but it's not going to help the run at the end. Pushing now with overtake. Is it going to be enough? Gas Smoking also pushing. But not with overtake, but still having the pace to keep away for now with no DRS available. And Bone Shaker setting a new fastest lap of a 127.9. Doing quite well up at the front. Beast only a second off. Ron Swanson a second and a half behind. Both of them on mediums to the end. Definitely going to have the deg. It's going to come down to the final few laps as there's just 10 left to go. Entered Caesar has made the movement on Henchman. Or is Henchman off? Is that contact? I don't know. Maybe he's just struggling a little bit with the colder track temperatures. Now that it is a little bit clouded over, I do not know. Should be fine on the softs though. But I know that the mediums and hards do better in these slightly different conditions. So is that going to be a big difference for Bone Shaker? Is he going to be able to keep pace with a cold track as the cloud cover is coming down, making these softs maybe a little less valuable at this hour? trying to break up that slip from Zach the Beast, as Ron Swanson's just trying to keep up his pace to catch onto the back of these guys. 2.5 seconds out. But it is anybody's fight to the end here. It's a very close gap. Time penalties will be a big deal. If these guys can keep it close, Gas Smoking trying to recover a good race for himself, but grabs a 3-second time penalty again there. So he's going to try and get himself around Henchman. But Books still looking pacey, still looking for that attack, pushing with a lot of battery. Oh, that's going to be more warnings. So definitely the penalties are going to be a big deal to the end here to slot around somebody. Entered Caesar onto the back of Bad Hunt House, has DRS. He's going to be pushing hard with battery. It's not going to be enough this time around, but it is going to slot him in a little bit closer. Watchman still having a bit more pace, even on older mediums. Bad Hunt House grabbing a wide line, even kicking up a bit of dirt there. That is really clouded over in this race so far. Will we get rain into the final few laps here at the Britain Grand Prix for Tier 5? I do not know. Henchman grabbing a 3-second time penalty for himself. Books with another 3-second time penalty. Entered Caesar pushing hard. DRS available. He's going to grab that outside line from Bad Hunt House. Not much of a defense can be done. He had no battery to fight back with, but I think he's just going to want to grab DRS and reserve some battery for the last few laps and maybe catch Watchman up above to grab himself some more points. Gas Smoking almost a second into Henchman here. Book still that 1-second gap to Gas Smoking. Slingshot still holding P10 for himself, but Jack Carl is going to make him fight for it, as these guys are of each other going to the end. Zach Bardsley, unfortunately, having his contact and an off is not going to help him, as he's 8 seconds out. So unless there's another safety car, I'm not sure there's much hope for him this late in the race. Bad Hunt House is just trying to close up with the DRS, reserve that battery. Playing it to his strategy from the looks of it. Giving it everything on every lap of his battery, just holding to the back of Gas Smoking. Still about 8 laps left in this race. Books having DRS, but not a great run on Gas Smoking this time around. Bad Hunt House still holding on to the back of Entered Caesar, as both these guys are holding onto their battery as they're closing into Watchman ahead. Watchman taking 3-second time penalties, not helping his run. These penalties are stacking up high on some of these drivers. I don't know if we might see even a disqualification at this point, but these penalties are looking into plus 12, plus 15, I think, which is going to be a big deal at the very end of this race, because all these guys are only within 2 seconds of each other all the way through. Bad Hunt House still pushing with that DRS, trying to hold on to Entered Caesar. Looks outside of Gas Smoking's DRS this time, but Gas Smoking losing a bit of Henchman ahead. Henchman pushing hard, catching a bit of Bad Hunt House, but Bone Shaker taking a 3-second time penalty, trying to get away from Zach the Beast. So it might come down to penalties to the very end. Zach the Beast, I think, had a few himself, so I'm not quite sure if he's at par or if he's ahead. Ron Swanson might have been a little bit cleaner this time around. Maybe has both of them on penalties. Who knows? As he's not too far back from these guys at all. Watchman still having a lot of penalties as per usual, but is it going to be enough to hold a good position in this race? They're closing to the back of Watchman. It's going to be a battle for 4, 5, 6. Gas Smoking and Books trading places. Is Gas Smoking going to make a dive? No, he's going to have a bit of a lockup. He's going to try and get a better run on Books. Dirty Air catching him out just that little bit, I think. Not quite used to it as he was just the car ahead for a little while and just trying to recalibrate. Bit of a lock up there, but I think he's just trying to line it up with DRS. Pushing hard with overtake. Books is on that recharge. It's not on this straight, but it's going to hold them close enough maybe the next time around. But all these drivers are now closing in to Watchman. Watchman falling off just that little bit with those 2 laps more of Deg, I think. And it's just hurting them that little bit on pace. As we... Oh, no! Bone Shaker off? Virtual safety car. Oh, no. Bone Shaker having it off at the end of Maggots and Beckett's, I think, causing that VSC returning to track as fast as they could, but I don't know if that's bad. Oh, that is very bad wing damage. And needing to pit for that. That is very unfortunate with 6 laps left. Hopefully able to still take fastest lap, but unfortunately for Bone Shaker, I think that's going to be end of their podium chances this time around. The VSC going to help a little bit, but probably not enough to make a big enough deal of it. Jumping onto a new stack of softs at the end with the new wing, unfortunately. As I believe they're about to go for a green here in only a few moments. Ron Swanson right on to the back of Zach the Beast. Ron Swanson getting a huge run after that VSC and is ahead. A little bit of a contact there between Zach the Beast and Ron Swanson, but how did he catch such a gap in the VSC? Zach the Beast, you must have had like 2 seconds on the clock, man. You had to push. There's no way. What's going on? Ron Swanson now defending 5 laps to the end. This could be the race for him. This could be the one. Oh, getting a little, oh boy. A little squirrely into Maggots and Beckett's, but these guys do not make contact. Zach the Beast now trying to get ahead, trying to look for a line with DRS. Not going to have, I think, a move this time around. But these two are going to fight it out to the very end. Is that going to close up Watchman to these guys to make it a big fight, as Entered Caesar and Bad Hunthauser right on the back of him, as is Henchman. Books wanting to close it in as well. Gaspoken filtering in behind him. So it is now anybody's game if these two ahead want to fight it out, because they are losing tons of time to the rest of the field if they want to battle it out with 4 laps left. There is not enough of a gap, and there are spots of rain with 4 to go. Oh boy, it just gets better and better. Let's see it. 4 laps of wet. Who can hold it to the end? It won't be inters. It'll just be a wet line and greasy on old mediums or softs. Here we go. Zach the Beast, I'm not sure he's going to be able to have pace to get around Ron Swanson when that DRS closes. This could be it. If Ron Swanson can hold out just long enough until DRS closes, but I don't think that'll happen, because that only happens when the inters come out. So that might be only on the last lap, but that might just be enough. Zach the Beast now pushing hard, 4/10 back. He's not going to be able to do it. Bad Hunthouse and Watchman fighting it out. Oh, there's contact made there. Watchman losing out some of his end plate, I believe. And that's going to slow him up quite a bit as Henchman is right beside him. Oh boy. He has to slow up a bit, yielding the corner. And Henchman's on his way through to P5 on those softs. The highest soft runner to the end. Only 4 seconds out from the leaders. Maybe with less penalties, it could still be Henchman's race. Who knows? Zach the Beast still trying to close into Ron Swanson with DRS still available on this lap. Pushing hard, giving the last of his battery. But it's not enough this time around. Trying to make a dive. Trying to look for any move. Pressuring Ron Swanson into any mistake at this point with this half greasy line. definitely a good plan to try and force a mistake. Henchman looking at the back of Bad Hunt House, but trying to take a different line on the softs, just trying to take it easy, not to overheat them, not to cook them. I think at this point, fighting still a bit of that deg, but Books is into P6 as Gas Smoking is slowed up a bit. I don't know if that's more contact or wing damage from him, but these guys are still trying to sort out a few positions. Henchman closing in, but Bad Hunt House still has DRS on Entered Caesar, who's clawed his way all in the way up into P3 after having so many issues at the beginning of the race, somehow sorting it out after the safety car and coming alive at the end of this race. So it is anybody's fight to the end. Zach the Beast still 0.5 back from Ron Swanson. The rain's still coming down that bit, making that line ever so more greasy and greasy every lap they do. I don't think any moves are to be made on this lap around with DRS. Gas Smoking closing in a lot to Books though. But everybody closes in a lot there, but no one really quite makes a move. It's going to be a nail biter to the end. It comes down to the smallest bit. Who's going to have more, who's going to have less penalties? Zach Bardsley is on to inters. I don't know if it's the inters time yet. DRS is not just deactivated, but maybe just having that hard time even in the dry tires is too much for him right now. Wanting to get through these last few laps, maybe expecting a DNF or two to, you know, maybe yield a safety car, but that should not happen at this point, I do believe. Zach the Beast right on the back of Ron Swanson. Gas Smoking taking a 3-second time penalty as they're starting their 25th lap. Coming down to 2 laps left in this Grand Prix here for Tier 5 BRL. Bad Hunt House still chasing the back of Entered Caesar. It has been a fight for 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's been with all different groups of dancing partners all the way through this race. Henchman not giving up, having that invert strategy. Those tires look beat to hell, but is doing a good job to keep it out there. Books having a hard time on those softs as well. Gas Smoking chasing him down. I know Watchman's got a lot of penalties, and now with that wing slowing up a bit, but gonna keep up his pace. Zach Bardsley is unfortunately out. Even with the inters, I don't think it was the time, and that's probably what caught him out. Bone Shaker still back up into points. Gas Smoking makes a dive on Books. Is it going to be enough? Oh, it's a touch. And Gas Smoking's around. Is he going to be able to save the wing? Oh, and he's going to crunch the wing on the wall. Watchman's going to be able to slide his way through, but that's going to be not good. But yeah, Gas Smoking's going to try and do probably one more lap on that wing. Bone Shaker making his way through Jack Carl, trying to recover more points in this race. Maybe he can catch Gas Smoking after that spin and with wing damage to recover more points as Zach the Beast and Ron Swanson to make the final lap. But Ron Swanson grabs a little bit too much curb. It's going to be a fight for the last lap as these guys are almost side by side into turn 1. Ron Swanson going wide just a bit, but Zach the Beast trying to look for that inside line. Can't quite do it. It is going to be very tight. Light contact there. They are fighting for every little bit of traction. Zach the Beast pushing with DRS. He's so close this time around. They are side by into the turn. Who's going to have it? Ron Swanson with the inside line. Zach the Beast able to nudge his way through for this inside line. A little bit of contact again as these two, as Ron Swanson goes a little bit wide, grabbing that gravel. Zach the Beast is going to grab a bit of a lead. Oh boy. He's going to need it coming into Maggots and Beckett's to try and get ahead into the end here as these two are fighting it out for the final lap. Ron Swanson will have DRS, but no That's not the traction he wanted there. He's going to be pushing with everything. Zach the Beast wiggling a little bit too prematurely, I think. I don't know how time penalties are going to stack out. Ron Swanson taking a 3-second time penalty right there might help him out. Zach the Beast still ahead a little bit, but Ron Swanson looking for an aggressive move, I think, for the end. Pushing with overtake, doing everything he can to get to the line, but doesn't want to screw it up before the line. Tries to take him on penalties. It's not going to be enough. Zach the Beast ahead. Entered Caesar is going to take P2. Ron Swanson P3. Toes P4. Henchman P5. Books P6. What is Watchman going to get coming down to the line? He got through quite a bit with that broken wing, but what an exciting end to the race. Watchman finishes P7 for now. Gas Smokin slots his way through him. Bone Shaker his way through him from penalties. Jack Carl, is it going to be enough on penalties? It is. And Watchman's going to slot himself down into P10. Don't know if he's out of points on penalties. He's going to score points, but only one to the very end. Driver of the day entered Caesar. I might have to agree with that. After having such a recovery drive from the back of the grid, having issues on turn of or having issues into the early of the race, and then having to recover after safety car. But wow, what a race to the end. And there you have it, Zach the Beast. I could have swore he had penalties, but I guess not. Entered Caesar without penalties as well. Ron Swanson a little bit back on penalties. Bad Hunt House and everybody else slotting in behind. But Bone Shaker going to be able to pick up fastest lap. Unfortunately, I had some issues into Maggots and Beckett's. But it was an interesting race. Lots of exceeding track limits. And some argy-bargy contact between some of our drivers here throughout the race. It was a very, very good run, I think, from these drivers. Proud of all of you for trying to make it out. Unfortunately, Zach Bardsley, Ethan, and PPR Butters did not make it out, but everybody else ended up coming out the other end, and Slingshot, the only driver to not make points, unfortunately, today, but Watchman not too far out with those large penalties coming in to bite him at the end of the race. If you guys can be sure to include your audio. Okay, so I guess we'll start with P3, Ron Swanson. A bit of an interesting race for you. You had some issues and were able to recover it to the end there and had a pretty good drive to the end, but were ultimately kind of lost out to your track penalties, but was a good race. How did you feel about that one? Oh, it was definitely exciting to watch. The stream was very exciting to watch, I assure you, but everybody was in their seats clenching for what was going on. But yeah, entered Caesar, you had quite a recovery drive into your race and somehow managed P2 with no penalties, so I'm sure you're quite excited for that one. I don't think you have your audio included? Okay. Okay. Sorry. Just double checking. Well, it seemed to come down to not having any track penalties, and that's what you were able to do, so congratulations to you. But Zach the Beast, I didn't curse you. I swear I didn't curse you, so there you go. You got your win. And how you feel about that? You had it at the beginning, you lost it into turn one, the guy around you, you were able to recover it, you were ahead, Ron Swanson kind of took it away at the end, and then you were able to save it at the end, but how do you feel? But yeah. Yeah, so that was a very good run from you guys, and congratulations to our podium guys and to all of our drivers, and thank you to the viewers that did come out to enjoy this stream. We shall catch you all next time with our other streams coming up this weekend with Tier 1, Tier 2, and our Monday with 3 and 4. So we shall catch you then.